The LIMEN Helix Gazette, The Word on the Bracelet, Essay on Observation Status, and 11 Nights That Did Not Count. Medicine Edition. There is a hospital bracelet in my mother's sewing box. It has my grandfather's name on it, spelled right, and his date of birth, spelled wrong by a year. Under that, in the same small print as everything else, it says outpatient. He was in that building for 11 days. The box is the tin one, with the shortbread lid that every family has a version of. And it holds thread, a tape measure, 3 buttons off a coat nobody owns anymore. And this. We had it down by the 4th day. Park on the 3rd level, because the 2nd fills by 9, and the 4th puts you on the outside ramp in whatever the weather is doing. The chair on the window side, because the other one is where the doctors stand, and you learn quickly not to be standing in the place where the doctors stand. The whiteboard by the door with the nurse's name on it in dry erase marker changed twice a day, and my mother reading it before she read his face, because a new name meant starting the whole account again from the beginning, the year of the first surgery, the 2 medications he cannot take, the thing about his left ear. She got it down to 90 seconds. She never once said it in a way that let him hear it was the 4th time. Medicare will pay for a nursing home after a hospital stay, provided you were admitted for 3 midnights. Observation is not admission. You can be in the bed, on the ward, in the gown, with the wristband and the chart and the drip, treated by the same nurse who was treating the man across the room who was admitted, and be billed as an outpatient who is visiting for a while. Nothing about the care tells you which one you are. There is no different room and no different door, and nobody comes in to say it. The word is chosen somewhere you cannot see, by people you will never meet. And then it is printed on the paper you are wearing, and nobody reads the paper they are wearing. He had 11 nights. None of them counted. The number was $41,000. That was the private rate at the facility he needed on the day they sent him out, because a man who has been on a ward for 11 days does not go home and make himself a sandwich. The facility did not care what the ward had been. It cared what the paperwork called it. My mother found this out at a counter with his bag over her shoulder, and the woman at the counter was kind about it, and had plainly been kind about it many times before. She said he was under observation. My mother said he was in the hospital. The woman said, I know. My mother called the billing office 11 times over 5 weeks. She was transferred to Medicare twice, and once to a number that rang in an office where nobody picked up. Everyone she spoke to was pleasant. Everyone agreed with her about what had happened. Not one of them could tell her who had written the word, or when, or what would have had to be different. She sold the Buick in March. She did not tell him she sold the Buick. He asked after it twice that first year, and she said it was in the shop. And the second time he did not ask again, which is how we knew he had worked it out. The daughter of the woman in the next bed drove my mother home every night for 11 nights. She had her own mother in that room, and she did it anyway. She was on the 3rd level at 8:10, whether or not anybody had arranged it. And when my mother came down late, she was still there with the engine off and the radio on low. It fixed nothing. The bracelet still said what it said. The 41,000 was still the number. And the Buick still went in March. But for 11 nights, my mother did not drive home alone in the dark on a road she has been driving since she was 17. And she has told me about that car radio more times than she has told me about the counter. We never got her name. My mother asked once, on the last night, and she said something short and pleasant that was not an answer, and then talked about the parking, and my mother let her. And that was the end of it. The bed by the window was made up flat the next morning, and neither of us has ever known what that meant. Somebody cut the bracelet off him and then taped it back into a circle. Neatly, edges squared, with the white cloth tape they use for dressings. It would have taken a minute at the end of a shift, and it is not a thing anybody is paid to do. Nobody in our family did it. My mother found it in the bag, with his glasses and his watch and the shirt he came in wearing, and she did not say anything about it then, and she has not said much about it since, and it went into the sewing box with the thread. It has been in there 9 years. I have never asked the hospital who was working that night, and I have thought about it often enough to know that I am not going to. This reading was produced with a synthetic voice. The writing is the paper's own.